Hello, welcome. For this practice, you'll need a couple of blocks. So if you don't have blocks, you can just get some chunky books, just something to elevate, and we're just going to hold on to them in one of the poses. So just a couple of blocks to one side, and then we're ready to begin. So just starting by rooting the sit bones down into the mat, getting that lovely long spine. So just elevating the crown of the head towards the ceiling. So starting to create space in the body, just up along the spine, creating as much space as you can here. And rolling the shoulders back and away from the ears, just allow them to relax. And then just starting to drop into the space. So we want to become fully present on our mat today. So letting go of your day so far, letting go of the busyness of the mind. We want to just really let that kind of dissolve away right now. So trying to acknowledge the thoughts when they come in, because they will. We'll always have thoughts that try and come into the mind. That's what we do. It's just completely natural. But what we want to do is observe the thought as it comes into the mind. And without letting it take hold, and without letting it start to control your thinking, or you ruminate on this thought, we just want to let it go. So starting to take our focus inwards. So that's one way of just, distracting the mind almost and stopping those thoughts coming in. We're just going to focus on the breath. So just noticing the rise and fall of the body here. And take a moment just to notice how your body feels today. Are you feeling energetic? Are you feeling tired? All is valid, all is fine, but it's just good to be aware and start to notice how your body feels, so that throughout the practice you can really listen to your body and just adjust accordingly. If you need to come out of a pose, child's pose is always available. I'll have a child's pose sort of halfway through, but if at any point you just think my body needs a rest, and making sure it's not the mind talking, it is, a real need to rest, listen to your body and come into that child's pose, either pause the video or come back to it when you're ready. But always listen to the body. We're all completely different, and that's why yoga is amazing, because it's a practice that you can do again and again. And you just, train your body into different positions, and just train your body step by step until we get to the place where we want to be, or that sort of feeling of openness and flexibility and strength. So just take it at your own pace. And now just starting to deepen the breath. So bringing the breath down into the belly now, our full yogic breath. And exhaling fully, we want to lengthen the inhales and the exhales and slow them right down. So inhaling deeply into the belly and exhaling fully. Keeping that nice tall spine, don't allow your spine to collapse forward. But just focusing on that deep breathing now. You can place your hands on your belly if that helps, because as you inhale you press the hands away, and as you exhale the hands just draw back towards the spine. So just if you need to guide the breath to start with. And then when you're ready, you can place your hands on your knees, but keep that deep breath connection. And we want to keep that throughout the practice. So as we inhale and exhale with the movements, we're concentrating on our alignment, concentrating on the flow, we're concentrating on the breath, which creates a full moving meditation. So as well as strengthening the body, we're going to strengthen the mind. So now opening up the eyes, we're just going to start with waking up the joints. So it's early for when I'm making this video, it's early in the new year, and we may just feel a bit stiff, it's quite cold outside. So we're just going to do a sequence to wake up and just start to move into the joints before we go into the full practice. So you can bring your arms out in front, fingers are extended, and we're just going to open and close the fingers, making some fists. Open and close, open and close. And realise that I'm almost just a shadow with this background, but hopefully you can see what I'm doing. Open and close, open and close, and then make your fists, and we're going to roll the fists one way. So both fists are going in the same direction, keeping the arms nice and straight and extended here, just about shoulder height. And rolling the fists, and then we're going to roll the other way. So we're just opening out through the backs of the hands into the wrist joints, because we obviously use our hands a lot on the mat in yoga, and they can get, well, we need to strengthen them basically, as we know. So it's just a nice little exercise, and then coming back to center. Then we're going to open out the fingers and just flex and extend backwards and forwards, so just as far as feels good for your range of movement. Up and down. You can feel, especially if you work at a computer, these can be a little bit stiff, so we'll just bring a bit of flexibility here. And then coming back to centre, just creating some cups with your hands, so little cups up to the ceiling, finger points up. And then we're just going to work into the elbow joints. So just with an inhale, bring your fingertips to your shoulders. Exhale, extend. Inhale to the shoulders. Exhale, extend. Inhale to the shoulders. Exhale, extend. Inhale to the shoulders, exhale, extend. And then bring the fingertips to the shoulders. We're going to create some circles with the elbows towards the back. So as you come through the center, try and touch your elbows together. So we're really creating as big a circles as we can. All the way around. Just feel how your shoulders are today. So again, a lot of shoulder work in yoga poses throughout the flow. So we want to release any tension here. And just really make sure that we're lubricating those joints before we begin. And then going back the other way again, elbows to touch at the front. So as they touch, you can just feel the top of the back extending, stretching. And keep the spine straight. One more of these, and back to center. And then our neck, we want to make sure is lovely and loose, so looking to the right. Inhale to center, exhale to the left. Inhale to center, exhale to the right. Inhale to center, exhale to the left. Inhale to center, looking up, stretch the front of the throat. And exhale down, stretch through the back of the neck. Inhale up, Really fluid movement. Exhale down. Inhale to centre. Then just tipping the head over to the right side, creating a stretch on the left side of the neck. Pause here. Inhale to centre. Exhale, tilt the head to the left. Inhale to centre. Exhale right. Inhale to centre. Exhale left. And inhale back to centre. I'm going to bring the arms out wide. We want to wake the arms up today because we're going to again use these arms for some of the balances. So we want to get those arms nice and awake. So we're going to just create some little circles backwards. So again, spine is nice and tall, not collapsing down. Just little circles here. And then we want to create some bigger circles. So starting to feel the muscles engage. And then back to small circles, still the same way. And then come centre. And then rotating the arms forward this time in your small circles. Sun's coming out, looks long. Small circles here, and then wider circles forward. You can really feel the muscles waking up now. Wider circles, and then back to your small circles in the same direction. Trying to keep the arms at shoulder height, and then release. Ooh. That's definitely told the arms that we're about to start working. Give them a little shake. And then just bring one, so the left arm over, across the chest, and just hold it in, just sort of stretching through the top of the arm. Breathe here. Always remembering to breathe. And then release. Then bring the right arm over, just press that arm in towards the chest, stretching through the top of this arm. Breathing here. And then release down. Grasp just both the elbows overhead and just bring the elbow slightly behind the head so the chest opens. Create a stretch across the chest into the armpits. Breathing here. And then releasing down. I hope you can see me. It's got very bright and I can't really see the screen now. So listen to my voice. I'll keep going with the video and hopefully it's all fine. If not, I'll redo. But I think it's good. It's probably quite nice to see the sunshine. It's lovely. So we're going to come now into our tabletop position. So we're in our tabletop, hips over knees, shoulders over wrists. And the same way that we woke up the arms, we're going to wake up the spine now. So we're going to go through our cat and cow. So inhale, drop the belly, look up, tailbone points up. Exhaling to round. Inhale, drop the belly, looking up to the ceiling. Exhaling to round. Inhale, drop the belly, looking up. So stretching the skin on the front of the body. And then exhale to round and feel the skin stretch on the back of the body. So you're pressing away from the yoga mat and really creating as high an arch as you can. And then one more. Drop the belly, looking up. And then exhale, cat position, and then coming back to neutral spine, and then tucking the toes now, just stretch out the backs of the feet. So again, we don't have a lot of flexibility in the soles of the feet generally, so it's just creating that little stretch here. And then we're going to lift up into our first downward facing dog. So just finding your position. We want the hands shoulder width apart, so just make sure they're not too far out. Keeping them in line with the shoulders and the feet in line with the hips. So just check where you are. You can adjust in your down dog always, just to keep moving around, making sure you're in the right position. And we're going to walk the dog here because it's our first down dog. So, oh, any cricks or cracks are fine. But we're just going to wake the body up. So just twisting or bending, pedaling the feet, whatever feels good. In your practice this morning, again, just listen to the body, take a little moment to tune in and say, how am I feeling? Which bit needs a bit of extra attention? Is it the shoulders? Is it the hips? And then when we're ready, we're going to come to stillness in our down dog. So just to remind ourselves of the correct alignment, we want to be pressing the heels towards the ground. Knees can be bent, and the whole aim is to get the tailbone as high as we can towards the ceiling, creating a really deep V shape here. So your chest comes towards the thighs, your chest kind of drops in between the shoulders. And to protect those shoulder joints, we want to create space. So we're going to press away from the yoga mat, so creating a little space in the wrists, and then pressing out of the shoulders, creating space in those shoulder joints. You can feel these little micro movements happening, but they're just really protecting those joints. And then you want to externally rotate your upper arms. So once you've created that little space, externally rotate the upper arms, and then we're just protecting those shoulders. So with an inhale, we're going to look in between the hands, and we're going to just tiptoe to the top of the mat. So feet are hip width apart as you reach the top of the mat, and then just hang here in your ragdoll. So grabbing opposite hands with opposite elbows. You can sway from side to side if that feels good. Again, it just stretches out through the quads, the hamstrings here. And also we're creating more space in the body. So the head is heavy, and we just create a bit of space in between the vertebrae as we hang here. And then with an exhale, we're going to drop the fingers. With an inhale, we're going to draw a line with the fingertips. Knees can be bent here, all the way up. But just as slowly as you can, we are just articulating through the spine, stacking the vertebrae as we come all the way up to standing. So again, check your feet are hip width apart now. We're in our Tadasana mountain pose. So we're going to tuck the tailbone, we're going to roll the shoulders away from the ears, palms are facing forward. Then with an inhale, we're going to reach the arms up as high as we can. So reaching out of the waist here, so we just lengthen, you can feel a lengthen through the torso, the side of the body as you reach up. And then as you exhale, we're going to fold forward into our forward fold, Uttanasana. Then inhale into your halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. We're going to roll the shoulders away from the ears. So try and keep that spine as flat as you can. So by rolling the shoulders back, we're stopping that kind of hunching forward. We're stopping the curve, and then we're just creating that nice flat spine. So hands can be anywhere on the legs here. Then we're going to exhale, plant the palms, step the right foot back, then the left foot into your plank. Find your plank position here. We don't want the hips up too high. So lower the hips slightly, press away from the yoga mat again, creating space in those joints. So you can imagine your upper back is kind of doming as you press away. Then we're going to exhale, lower knees, untuck the toes, and lower chest and chin all the way down to the ground. And then we're here, ready for our cobra pose. So we're going to sort of press into the ground. So press the pubic bone into the ground, press the tops of the feet into the ground. And then with an inhale, we're going to come up gently, keeping the elbows in towards the body. Going to inhale, come up, roll the shoulders back, chest shines forward into your baby cobra. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, tuck the toes. Exhale, press back through your child's pose. Sit bones towards the heels. Then inhale, lifting up into your downward facing dog. So find your position, you can move your feet. So whenever you come up from that pose into your down dog, we're not necessarily in the right place. So always kind of adjust a little bit. And pressing the tailbone high. Come to stillness. Then with an inhale, we're going to raise the right leg into a three-legged dog. So keeping the hips square. So not rolling over to the left and stacking the hips. We want the hips to be level to the mat. And then we're going to exhale, bring the knee through to the nose. So doming the upper back again, as we did in the plank, to create that bit of space. And then step to the front of the mat. If you don't make it all the way, just give it a helping hand. Just keep going with the practice, and eventually it will go through. It doesn't feel like it, but it will. Then exhale, lower the back knee, untuck the toes. We're going to inhale up into our low lunge. So arms extend towards the ceiling, shoulders away from the ears. We're gently pressing into the front thigh. So try and get those hips slightly lower towards the mat. Breathe here. We're going to exhale, incline forward 45 degrees, so with your body as well as your arms. And hold here, legs are strong, core is engaged, breathing here. And then inhale, arms to the ceiling. Exhale, lower down, untuck the back toes, pick up the back knee, and step back into your downward facing dog. And breathe here, checking where your hands are. The feet, and pressing the tailbone up towards the ceiling. Then with an inhale, we're going to raise the left leg into our three-legged dog. Hips are square or level. Then exhale, bring the knees through to the nose, step to the front of the mat. Exhale, back knee comes down, untucking the toes. Inhale, rising up into our low lunge. So again, just checking where the hips are. Can you press just slightly forward? And then create your stable base here. And with an exhale, we're going to incline 45 degrees. Hold here. Breathing here. Then inhale. Arms to the ceiling. Exhale, framing the front foot, pick up the back knee and step back into your downward facing dog. And breathe here. With an inhale, we're going to ripple forward into our plank. Exhale, lower knees, untuck the toes, lower chest and chin all the way down, keeping the elbows tight in towards the body. That's creating your strength in the upper arms. Then again, pressing the tops of the feet down. Inhale, roll the shoulders back into a baby cobra. Chest shines forward. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, tuck the toes. Exhale, press back through your child's pose. And inhaling up into your downward facing dog. And breathe here. Always breathing through your nose and always trying to slow the breath down. Then with an inhale, we're going to ripple forward into a plank. So holding here, we're going to bring the right hand underneath your face, and then we're going to roll
onto the edges of the feet and come into a side plank here. So if that feels good, breathing here. If not, we can drop the bottom knee and come into a half plank. So anything is good here, as long as you're reaching up with that top hand and not putting too much pressure into the bottom hand. So if you're in your side plank, that's great. If you're in your full plank, breathing, and then exhale, we're going to lower the left hand down, come back into our plank. Just lower the hips gently. Bring the left hand underneath the face. We're going to roll onto the other side. And again, lifting up with that right hand. So you can come into your half plank or stay in your full plank here. And kind of press the hips up towards the ceiling as well. Breathing here. And then exhale, bring that right hand down. Exhale, lower knees, chest, chin all the way down. We're going to inhale, come up into a bit of a higher cobra this time. So elbows are still in towards the ribs and then lift up just slightly higher. Breathing here. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, tucking the toes. Exhale, press back into your child's pose. And inhaling up into your downward facing dog. And breathe here. So another way to take a bit of pressure off the wrists is to press into the fleshy part of the thumbs and kind of grip the mat with your fingertips. So you're creating a little bit of a claw shape onto the mat. So if your wrists feel tired, that's something that can help. And breathing here. With an inhale, we're going to ripple forward into a plank. No, we're not. With an inhale, we're going to raise the right leg into our three-legged dog. We're going to exhale, bring the knee through to the nose, step to the front of the mat. So keeping the back heel lifted this time. Make sure your knee is over your ankle, so you've got a really lovely strong base here. And then we're going to inhale up into our high lunge. So back leg is nice and straight. You can press through the back heel, so almost spike the heel, which straightens through that back leg and keeps it nice and strong. So arms are extended, shoulders away from the ears. And then we're going to exhale, incline forward 45 degrees. And then inhale, come back into a cactus arm. So open the chest, cactus the arms wide. Exhale, incline. Inhale, cactus. Exhale, incline. Inhale, cactus. And then inhale, reach up. Exhale, frame the front foot. And step back into your downward facing dog. And breathe here. Pressing those hips up high. Tailbone towards the ceiling. Externally rotating the upper arms. Then we're going to inhale, bring the left leg into our three-legged dog. Exhale, knee through to the nose, dome the upper back, stepping to the front. Keeping the back heel lifted, find that strong base with your knee over your ankle. Back leg nice and strong. Inhale, lift up into your high lunge. So your hips are facing the front. Again, you don't want to be kind of turning to one side with our lunges. So check your hips and then raise the arms up high. And then we're going to exhale, incline 45 degrees. Inhale, up to your cactus, open through the chest. Exhale, incline. Inhale, cactus, spiking through the back heel, legs are strong. Exhale, 45 degrees. Inhale, cactus. And then inhale, bring the arms alongside the ears. Exhale, framing the front foot. And step back into your downward facing dog. And breathing here. With an inhale, we're going to ripple forward into a plank. Exhale, lower knees, Chest chin all the way down. Inhale into your cobra, lifting up the chest. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, tuck the toes. This time we're going to exhale up through a plank. So popping up and inhaling into your downward facing dog. And breathe here. I'm going to drop the knees and come into a child's pose now. So just bring the sit bones towards the heels, forehead down onto the mat. If your shoulders feel tired, you can just bring them behind you. Give them a little rest. So just find your comfortable child's pose here. You want to focus on the breath now, so start to deepen the breath again. If we've lost it and the breath is starting to become a little bit shallow, we're going to deepen the breath into the belly. And slow it right down. So by slowing the breath down, we slow the heartbeat down and get ourselves ready to move again. So focus on the breath here. And then when you're ready, we're going to lift back up into our downward facing dog. So tucking the toes, hands are shoulder width apart. We're going to lift the tailbone high and breathe here. So with an inhale, we're going to ripple forward into a plank. So keep the hips low again, just take them a fraction lower. And then we're going to exhale, bring the right knee to the left elbow, and then extend that right foot out to the side into our fallen star. Bring the right hand underneath the face and extend the left hand towards the ceiling. Breathing here. And then exhale, bring that left hand down. Bring the right foot up into a three-legged dog and lower down. So back into our down dog. Inhale, ripple forward into a plank. Exhale, bring the left knee this time to the right elbow. Extend the left foot out. Bring the left hand underneath your hand, face even, sorry, and reach up with that right hand into your fallen star. Breathing here. It's a really tough one. Then exhale, bring that right hand down. Lift the left leg up into your three-legged dog and come back into a full downward facing dog. Breathe here, shake the head, nod the head, just make sure your neck is nice and loose. And then we're going to inhale, ripple forward into a plank again. This time we're going to lower all the way down to the mat. So keeping the elbows in towards the ribs. If you want to lower the knees, or just come all the way down onto the mat. Just take a breath here. And bring your forearms out onto the mat now, onto the ground. So palms are flat on the ground, forearms are down. And we're going to come into our Sphinx pose from here. So again, make sure that your elbows are under the shoulders and your forearm away. So if you twist one of the hands in towards your elbow, it's about the length of your forearm. And then you're here. So we're in our Sphinx pose. We're going to just press the pubic bone down into the mat, tops of the feet, and then shine the chest forward. And we want to get the ears away from the shoulders. So as you're pressing into the mat with your hands and your forearms, you're kind of lifting out and lifting the ears away from the shoulders. So crown of the head is up towards the ceiling, chest is shining forward. We're working the muscles along the spine, along in this sort of mini back bend. So just breathing here. And exhale, lower down. Just rock your hips from side to side. And then we're going to come to a broken wing pose here. So I don't know if you can see me properly, but we're going to bring the right arm just underneath. So cross it underneath your chest. So it's coming out to the left side. Your left hand is just kind of placed underneath your shoulder. And then we're going to roll the left leg just over the top. So we're laying on our side, and then the left leg just gently kind of rests behind the right leg. And then rest your head down. Breathe here. And then inhale, roll onto your front. Remove that right arm. Come into the other side. So we're going to thread the left arm underneath. Palm is on the ground. And then the right palm is underneath the shoulder, rolling onto your left side. Just bring that right foot over the top and gently rest behind. Head comes down, so we've got our crushed or broken wing underneath. And just a very gentle twist in the lower spine. Breathing here. And then inhale, come back onto your front. Bring both hands underneath the shoulders. Come back into your Sphinx pose. So bringing the forearms down, and again making sure that they are shoulder width apart and your hands are, so your forearms are parallel to each other. We're going to lift up into a dolphin now. So, tucking the toes, we're going to lift the hips up high. So as if you were in a down dog, but with the forearms on the floor. So we're just going to walk the feet in towards the body. Check that your hands haven't travelled in. Try and keep them parallel. And then we're just going to press again out of the shoulders. So we're creating shoulder strength here and upper arm strength, but not if we collapse. So make sure that you're pressing away and just walk in as far as feels good. Well, it doesn't feel good, but as far as you can. And breathe here. So holding your dolphin pose. If you can, lift the right leg up. Point the toe towards the ceiling. Bring that leg down. And then lift the left leg up. Point towards the ceiling. Bring it down. And then hold for as long as you can. And when you've had enough, just drop the knees and come into your child's pose. So again, I would suggest bringing the arms alongside the body. Forehead onto the ground. Breathing here. So connecting back to the breath, slowing the breath down. When we work with the upper body, it's quite hard work, so it can get the breath up, the heart rate up. So just calming that all down. And then when you're ready, we're going to lift back up into our downward facing dog. The hips are up high. And then with an inhale, we're going to ripple forward into a plank. You can exhale, lower knees, chest, chin, or come through your chaturanga. So if we're doing full chaturanga, shift the body forward, just so the shoulders just come over the wrists, a bit further beyond the wrists. Exhale, lower halfway down. Inhale, rise up. Lower the hips towards the ground. Look up to the ceiling and just the tops of the feet are on the mat. And then exhale, roll over your toes and back into your downward facing dog. And breathe here. And with an inhale, we're going to raise the right leg into a three-legged dog. This time we're going to split the dog. So this time we are stacking the hips one over the other. Bring the knee pointing up towards the ceiling. And you want to try and kick yourself in the bottom. In your split dog. Breathing here. And then come back to your three-legged dog. Exhale, knee through to the nose. Step to the front of the mat. We're going to exhale, pivot the back foot 90 degrees so it's facing the long edge of the mat. Check that your front heel is in line with the arch of the back foot. We're coming up into warrior two. So knee over ankle in the front, and then we're going to spin up into our warrior two. So just checking your alignment, your legs are in one long line. Pressing into the outer edge of the back foot, arms are nice and long. Here is where we want to grab the block. So have the block just in front of you on the highest setting that you can, or book, or whatever it is. So we're in, back into our warrior two. Breathe here. Someone's putting your arms in opposite directions. So then we want to moving back a bit so you can see me. So we're going to inhale, reach forward. Exhale, find your block with your right hand. Your left hand travels up towards the ceiling. And then we're going to try and come up into our half moon pose. So, I'm going to move back a little bit. I'm going too far forward. So, we want to stack the hips on top of each other. The back foot is flexed to keep that back leg nice and strong. And your arms are in one long line, so reaching up towards the ceiling. And hold here. So find a point of focus. Something that's not moving. And remember that balance is a 70% mental. So once you've found your position, you want to try and press the top shoulder toward just further back to straighten up. Keep that back leg straight, and the grounded leg is nice and straight as well. So keep that strength. And then we're going to exhale, step to the back of the mat. And put the block down, come back into your warrior two. Breathe here. Exhale, frame the front foot and step back into your downward facing dog. And breathe here. That's quite a hard balance. It's one to practice, but it's really satisfying when you do get it right. And then with an inhale, we're going to raise the left leg into a three-legged dog. And then we're going to split the dog again. So we're opening out the hips here. Knee points towards the ceiling. Kicking yourself in the buttocks. Trying to keep the weight evenly distributed on both hands. So although the knee is going over to the right, try and keep the left hand nice and stable. And then coming back into your three-legged dog with an inhale. Exhale, knee through to the nose. Step to the front of the mat. Pivot the back foot 90 degrees. Find your stable base. Then inhaling up into your warrior two. So again, we want to always make sure we're opening the hips. So the hips are open to the long edge of the mat. And we're trying to press the knee to the left edge of the mat. So you can see your big toe, the other side of your knee, the inside of your knee. And then with an inhale, we're going to reach forward, look towards that block. Bring that hand onto the block. I'm going to step back a little bit here, hand on the block. And then we're reaching the right hand, and the right leg back. So again, extend that foot to the back of the room. Foot is flexed. Standing leg is straight. Arms are in one long line. Pressing the top hip and the top shoulder towards the back of you. Straightening up here, breathing here. And then exhale, step to the back of the mat. Place the block down. Come back into your warrior two. Breathing here. Exhale, framing the front foot. And stepping back into your downward facing dog. And breathing here. With an inhale, we're going to walk the hands towards the back of the mat. And come to folded. So just folding down here. We're going to bring the peace fingers around the big toes. We're going to grip the big toes with the thumb and the first two fingers. We're going to inhale, lengthen the spine. And exhale, just bring the elbows out towards the side and fold the nose towards the knees. Stretching into our hamstrings a bit here. So inhale, lengthens. Exhale to fold. Breathing here. And with an inhale, we're going to reach all the way up to the sky, Hasta Tadasana, and exhale, hands to prayer at heart center. Then now we're going to grab the blocks and just do some handstand drills. So again, because we're trying to strengthen our upper body and our shoulders and our arms, this is a really good way to do that. So grab your books or your blocks, and we're going to bring the hands flat onto the blocks or the books. Eventually you can just take these away. I think it's good to start with just to get that bit of extra height. And what we want to do is again find a point of focus on the ground, just to stop you kind of like wobbling all around and, you know, we're losing focus, you're losing balance, because as well as strengthening, this is also teaching us balance and going upside down, which is something that we're very much not used to, so we need to practice. So finding a point of focus, and we're just going to come up onto the tiptoes, so rock onto the hands, up onto the tiptoes, and back down again. So sounds easy, not so easy. So you come up as high as you can onto the tiptoes. You notice your legs engage as well as the building a bit of strength in the upper body. So it's kind of a full body workout here. So just tiptoe, back down again, and just want to do this a few times. So notice where you're feeling it. Again, you can grip the fingers and press into the fleshy parts of the thumbs if that feels better. And just keep rocking. And eventually we might feel the urge to go up. Just a drill, just to strengthen at this point. Let's do a couple more. Coming down. And again, just notice how if you need to shake your wrists at any point, if they start to feel a bit of pressure, that's also good. Just do what feels good. Coming up and down. And then removing the blocks. Just coming onto your knees, onto the mat. We're just going to sit back onto the knees. So coming into our hero's pose, just stretching through the quads here. So sitting your feet, sitting onto your heels if you can. If that feels terrible, you can come into a cross-legged position if this is just too strong. It really depends on your personal anatomy, so just do what feels good. And then here we're going to just clasp. I'm thinking I'll come facing the front. We're going to bring the right elbow up towards the ceiling and then clasp the hand behind the back with the left. So if you can touch your fingers together, that's amazing. If not, you can just grab hold of your t-shirt. So again, it's completely down to our shoulder rotation and how flexible we are here. And then just breathe in this position. So hold where it feels good without overstretching or causing any strain. And just breathe. Into the belly. And release down. Give your arms a little shake. So that can feel really strong for some people. Absolutely doesn't feel like anything for some people. And then, so we're bringing the left elbow up now, clasping behind the back. If this arm feels really awful, you can just grab hold of the elbow. Just see what feels good for you. And breathe here. And release down. Again, give the arms a shake. And then we're going to come into our Dandasana stick pose. So bring the legs out in front. And this pose, although it seems really simple, can be a pose that actually is working every muscle in the body. So we want to activate the legs, flex the toes, so we're activating the feet. Press down, so hands are just either side of your hips. So press into the ground, activating the arms, and then lengthen through the crown of the head and activate the core muscles. And our back muscles will naturally activate with all this happening. And breathe here. So we're strong in our stick pose. And hold, intentionally hold the muscles. And release. And then leaning back a little bit, so coming onto the palms, fingers are facing forward. Bring the knees into the chest slightly, feet on the ground. We're just going to roll, so come into some waves here, so roll the legs. So lift the feet off the ground, so just lean back slightly into the hands and bring the heels in towards your sit bones and then stretch the legs out. Elongate without touching the ground and roll back into the sit bones. So we want to do that 5 times, inhaling in, exhale to extend. 2, 3, 4, 5, and extend down. So just do that in your own time if that was not with your breath. Just do 5 rolls there. And then releasing down, we're going to flex the toes again. Inhale, reach up, reaching out of the waist. And exhale, folding forward. So grab your toes or whatever is good for you on the legs. We're going to inhale, extend the spine. And exhale, lower the nose towards the knees. Relax the head. So relax down here with each exhale. Just relax and sink a little bit lower. Then with an inhale, reach the arms high. And exhale, float the fingertips down towards the mat. Bring the feet onto the mat, so the knees are pointing up towards the ceiling. You're going to bring the arms out long and just lower down as slowly as you can, but in your own pace. Noticing your own spine, the points where the movement is fluid, and the points where it sticks or goes a bit quicker. Again, there's nothing wrong or right, it's just your spine. And then bring the knees into the chest. Give yourself a hug and just rock gently from side to side. And then release. We're going to come to a reclined saddle pose. So we're going to bring the right knee over the left. So our knees are in line here. And then we're going to grab the outer edges of the feet, if that is available. If not, the shins. So just wherever you can. And then we're going to lower the head down, lower the shoulders down, and just bring the knees in towards the body. So here you'll feel that stretch in the outer right hip. So just bring the knees in or sort of hug the feet in until you can feel that stretch. Again, it's not too intense, you can just feel it stretching and releasing here. So come back to that deep belly breathing. And then release. We're going to swap legs, so bringing the left knee over the right. Knees are in line, we're grabbing the outer edges of the feet or the outer edges of the shins. And release back down with the shoulders and the head. And again, so just gently draw the knees in towards the chest, hug the feet in, and you'll feel the stretch on the outer left hip. Breathing here. And then release down. Bring the knees back into the chest. Give yourself a hug. Again, just rocking gently from side to side. And then bringing the arms into a cactus shape either side of the head. We're going to exhale, drop the knees over to the right side. Gaze comes to the left hand. Breathing here. And inhale your knees through center. Exhale, dropping to the left, gaze over to the right hand. Still breathing deeply here. Inhaling the knees back to center. Give your knees a hug. And then allow your legs to drop out long, coming into your Shavasana. So legs are long, arms are long, feet flop out to the side. Palms are facing up. And coming to the most important pose of the class, the corpse pose, the resting pose, where your body can go into rest and repair mode and take in the benefits of the practice. So letting go of any deep breathing now, coming back to your natural breath and just relaxing the body fully with each exhale. Just making sure your face is relaxed, relaxing your jaw, relaxing your shoulders, relaxing your hips, just sinking down. Trying not to let the thoughts come in now, which they will try to do now that you've finished moving and concentrating, but just keeping that space of awareness a little while longer as you lay on the floor. You can either concentrate on your breath or just try to keep the mind as empty as you can, just for these next few minutes. Nowhere to go, nowhere to be. We're not doing, we're just being. Start to deepen your breath now. Start to bring some awareness back into your body. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Circle your wrists and your ankles. Bring your arms overhead and give yourself a full body stretch. And then bring your knees into your chest. Give yourself another hug here. And then rolling over onto your right side, just taking a couple of breaths in the fetal position. Just resting still, feeling supported by the mat, by the ground. And then when you're ready, just pressing yourself up to a comfortable seated position. Coming back to our cross-legged seat with the sit bones grounded, the spine is lovely and tall. You can keep your eyes closed for a bit longer if that feels good to you. And then keeping the breath nice and steady, bringing the hands to prayer at heart center. And just thank yourself for taking the time to practice. Move your body, still your mind, and connect with your breath. And then bring your thumbs to your third eye for wisdom. And bow and say, Namaste. Thank you.